Hey, Mr. Sherman here. Just gonna continue on with our brick breaker style app. We got continued on in the we got started on in the last video, and this video I think we're gonna go over getting the paddle to go side to side, getting the ball to bounce off the paddle, getting it to bounce off the walls, the bricks, all that good stuff. So let's hop over to blocks. And like I was saying, I like to, if you're following along with the Project Lead the Way curriculum, I like to do this app after the Germ Fighter because there's a lot of similar concepts that you expand upon. So you'll notice you move the paddle virtually the same way you move the germ. And one of the things I always like to go over is this block works fine, but I much rather use this block. At the end of the day, they are virtually the same. So that's going to get my paddle to move. And now when I click start, I want to get my ball to start moving. So I'm going to set the ball's speed. I'm also going to set its heading. Let's go into math. And I'm going to go, it's like 15 for my speed for now. And I'm going to grab this randomize block, randomize it a bit. And you can just stick random numbers in here, but I always do 225 to 315. And if you see my very poorly drawn picture, this is kind of the direction of the headings. 225 to 315, that's the range it's going to give. So it's going to be somewhere, some random range from here is where I want it to go. So that's going to get the ball to start moving. But now we need to tell it to, when the ball reaches the edge, we simply want it to bounce off that edge. Cool. That's going to get the ball to move. But if you notice, we also have a pause button up here. So let's at least get this out here and we can start working through this. Let's also make sure if I hit pause, the ball stops. Actually, that'll be fine for now. We're gonna set it up. We're gonna set it up to be smarter later. That'll be fine for now. We're gonna set up our pause button to be smart enough at some point to pause and unpause. But for now, we'll take that. That'll be fine. We're gonna expand on it. I just want to at least get something there. And we're gonna go ahead, add our reset button in as well. And all my reset button is gonna do is stop the ball and then reset the ball's position to the top of the screen. So you can go to designer and you can look at this X and Y and plug those numbers in. But here's the issue. If your screen size changes, the X and Y are going to be different. Well, the X is going to be different, I should say. The Y might stay the same. Um, so yeah, you can hard code Y in. I'm just going to hard code 80 in for Y. That's fine. But I wanted to go to the center of the screen regardless of the size. So what we can do is we can be a little fancy with it. We can go into math and we can go into screen one and say, grab the, am I in the right place? Am I in the wrong place? Actually, I think we want to go in our canvas. I think I was in the wrong place. We want to grab our canvas's width divided by 2. Apologize for the mistake. That should work. So we'll reset your ball to the top in the middle of the screen and stop it if you hit restart. And that's going to be at least the first part of our buttons. We're definitely going to have to add more to them, but that should be fine for now. So we're also going to have to set up when the ball bounces off of the paddle. So for now, if my ball collides with something, we're just going to set its heading. And this is the one block I just build out for the students. Usually I build very little on my screen for them. This is the one block I do just build out for them because I think this is a really weird setup. And if you actually take the time to run the numbers, because I for a while was confused by this, but if you take the time to run the numbers, it actually makes sense. It's just kind of a weird setup. So you take 360 and minus the heading from it, and that will get the ball to bounce off of things in a proper manner. So boom, boom, boom. Now get your paddle moving, the ball to move, and the ball to pause. And you know what? Let's set this up for now. We can set this up. So I'm gonna just make a boolean. Call this is paused, and we're gonna set this to false because our game's not paused when we first start. And what we can then do is every time we click the pause button, we want to flip what this is. So we're going to grab this set paused and we're going to say set it to not is paused. So if you think about it, if it's false, what's the opposite of false? True. So set it to be true. If it's true, the opposite is false. And then we're going to grab an if block and we're simply going to say, and I'll build this out because I want to make sure we understand. We could set it up like this. We could say if is paused is true, set the speed to 0. Otherwise, set it to 15. So you could set it up like this, or you could simply snap this block in. I want to make sure we understand that both these ways are true. And to be honest, whatever makes the most sense for you, set it up that way. If you're big brain enough that you can just read it, it makes sense, do that. That's fine. Otherwise, just snap it in, and that's completely fine too. So both these ways work. So that if you hit pause, it'll flip it from false to true. Then it'll say, okay, it's true. Stop the ball. If you hit it again, it will say, okay, flip it to false. It's not true. Do that. Boom, boom. So that is a lot of the first part of the app. So I'm going to encourage you, fire it up, test it out, make sure everything works. And I think I want to start getting into list with the next video. So cool. Hope that helps. Hope it makes sense.